This is Class 6, Week 6 for the Army of Saints martial arts series. Again, we're doing Class 6, Week 6 outside, just as a friendly reminder to all our host sites around the country that you can do these classes anywhere. You don't have to be inside some fancy martial arts school or in a fully equipped gymnasium. You can do the majority of these workouts for the martial art, the strength, the cardio, the meditation, inside your room, outside in an open spot. And so we're going to start with the martial arts portion where we're going to go through locks and grabs. So for this portion, I have a fellow assistant and who's going to help us and show how to do the lock and grab portion. So this is very much geared towards street self-defense. These are not so much applicable technique for inside the ring, because you really wouldn't find yourself generally in these positions by surprise, at least in the ring, because that's a controlled setting. It's one person to one person. It's a totally different environment, obviously, on the street. So this is for what we think of what happens when, maybe you're walking alone down the street by surprise. And we're going to start with the headlock. And so he's going to put me in a headlock just as I'm putting him. This is a common move for somebody that doesn't have a lot of martial skill but is trying to gain control by the head. And it's just somebody wrapping around and trying to drop their weight to drop you down. And of course, they're going to ultimately start, trying to punch and take control of you like that. This is actually a very easy thing to maneuver out of. Okay, so when he goes and he puts me in a headlock, all I'm doing, okay, is I'm immediately dropping to the ground, doing three things at first. Army of Saints students, remember, you're not really, going to the groin when we do some of these street defense techniques. We're partnering up and we're dummying up on the leg. But in real life, what you're going to do to the leg, in real life, to protect your life, you would be doing as a hard groin shot on the street. So all I'm doing is three things at once. My rear knee is hitting the back of his rear knee right here, okay, to knock his knee down. At the same time, I'm doing a double inside hammer fist strike, one to his kidneys on the back, okay, or rather lower back, okay, for all intensive purposes, and the second to the groin. Of course, I'm gonna, being an assistant, I'm gonna go ahead and just dummy up and do it on the leg, but in real life that would go to the groin. And so I'm doing all three things at once. Boom, 1, 2, 3, all three things simultaneously. From there, this draws somebody down, obviously, and lowers their center of gravity. And then you can do the next part without even seeing your opponent, even if it's pitch black. It doesn't matter, because you know their head is somewhere where their shoulder is, just by anatomy, and you're going to reach under the chin, and you're going to just crane upwards, and just like this, you're going to crane your arm like a fulcrum, and you're going to just go like that, okay? Now, and the real move is to actually add another hammer fist on the chest. That's something you would only do in the street, but again, just to show it, all we're doing is somebody takes you by surprise in a headlock, all right? And when they bring you down, you're doing 1, 2, 3 things at once. Now, in real life, even if you miss the groin and only get the knee, or you only get the groin and you miss the knee, you're doing 3 things at once, knowing that you're going to at least hit him in a couple different spots, because in real life things happen messy, things happen fast. And so you're just going to hit, and then you're going to wrap right around the chin, and you're going to move with the waist. I move with the waist. When I do this motion, guys, I'm moving with the waist, wrapping around the chin, and it's not just the muscle of my arm doing this, it's my whole body doing this. And as you move the chin up and back, they eventually are going to fall to the ground. Be slow with your partner, because when you do this fast, it will make somebody slam to the ground. You need to be gentle, because obviously with the joints of the neck, we want to be careful doing this in practice. That is for the headlock. For the front grab, this is if somebody has you by surprise, and and this is highly unusual, because most attackers want to get you from behind, where you're not expecting it, seeing it, but we're going to cover the front grab just to be thorough and efficient. And if it's a front grab, So he's just coming up, just giving a bear hug where he's trapping my arms, okay? Go ahead. So you're actually coming on, and he's just giving a front bear hug just like this. All right, trapping. And generally, if somebody's doing this, their next move is to try to throw you one way or the other with their weight down to the ground. Again, it's more likely to happen from behind, but it's going to be covered from the front too. And so when he does this to me, I'm going to show you what to do. It's very simple. All you're doing is you're just creating a little space with the hands, pushing out the waist, okay, trying to create a little space, and you're just doing a fast knee to the groin. Again, for students, do it to the knee to be nice in practice, because we're not looking to really hurt each other, but in the street, that fast little pop-up knee that we practiced last week would go right into the groin, and then from there, once you do a knee to the groin, it obviously brings somebody down like this, and then from there, you're doing a fast upward elbow just like that. So all at once in a nice fluid motion. When it happens, they're giving you a nice tight grab where we're going like this. We're trying to grab the stomach or the waist to push out a little bit, make a little space, pop up with the knee, and then from there you're looking to come either upwards like this. Some people also choose to do a roundhouse elbow to the side of the head. So it doesn't really matter which happens. If they're really still right on top of you once you've kneed and they're still holding on, it's better to try, so if he still has his arms around me somewhat, it's better to try to go up like that if they're close. But if you've created a little distance and after you knee and they're down like this, it's probably better to throw a fast little roundhouse elbow to the side of the head and then get out of there. Okay, again, be very slow and careful and methodical when practicing this. We don't want to hurt our partner in practice. We're doing this all slow. Once you have sparring gear on, you can practice it a little harder, but recognize the side of the head, the groin, these are sensitive areas you've got to be in control with. And the last is a grab from behind, and if somebody grabs you from behind, this is a very simple move based out of Aikido, where we're just going to press outwards like this, and you're going to press and stick out your butt just like that, where you're going backwards because it's that motion to give you space. Now even still, if the arms are partially around you or whatever, it doesn't matter. You've made space, and then what you're going to do is start with your right leg and take your right leg, swing it all the way around their body, and when they're holding on, even if they're still holding on to you, what you're going to do is what we call the wave. My whole body, just like as if you're at a football game when everybody comes up all at once with their whole body, you're doing an entire wave motion like this. And actually, if he was still trying to hold on, he'd obviously go to the ground. So without him, just to see it again, push out, sneak your right leg, start practicing with the right leg first, sneak it around the body, and then do the wave like this, where your whole body with both arms fully extended are going out and just coming right around like this. So we'll do it one time fast, but I'll keep control because I don't want my partner to slam to the ground, because somebody really will take a hard fall to the ground if we're doing this in real time. Okay, so we'll do it a little faster but under control. Okay, so he does the grab. So it's 1, 2, sneak around the leg, and 3, come right out like that. And like I said, if he was still trying to hold on, ultimately because his leg is caught in mine, he would fall to the ground. People doing this to the person or doing the bear hugs, be ready to fall to the ground, and remember, when you land to the ground, you're always landing like this, and you're landing with both arms out and with always chin to chest to protect the back of your head from when you fall on the ground. Always leaning forward like that to protect the back of the head. Okay? Thank you. Okay? And that will conclude the martial art portion of week 6. Now we're going to move on to the cardio. The cardio portion of week 6, relatively simple. We're doing lunge repetitions for the cardio. We're going to go ahead and you can do it with a couple dumbbells if you feel up to it, or you can just do it with nothing. And all you're going to do, if you're doing it with nothing, put your hands to the side of your head and just step out. And the knee should just be almost kissing the ground like this. Okay? So I'm stepping forward and the rear knee is just barely touching the ground. Okay? And you're just going continuously until you have, reached 15 or 20 minutes. If you're looking to make it a little bit more intense for the cardio portion, doing the repeat lunges, You can also go with a couple light dumbbells. Same thing. You're just going to go ahead, go down, back up, down, back up. And after you do about 100 to 200 of these, that will make for a great cardio workout. All right, and make sure that you're keeping good balance and that you don't want to be stepping too far out to one side or the other, crossing in your instep. You want to be linear so that it's one foot right in front of the other, only a few inches apart in width, and you're stepping all the way out. And when I step, you should look at your step and realize that from the rear to the front, there's not much space, but you should go as nice and low as you can. And all the while keeping your chest up and your face up, because you don't want to be slouched. And that is the cardio portion of class 6, week 6. For the strength portion, it's a little bit simpler. We're going to go with the legs, and we're going to focus on how to do power lunges. From here, we're going to do thighs and calves, and with the thighs and calves, we can do the same thing we did for the cardio portion, but now we're taking a full plate if you have it. You can just hug it up to your chest just like so, okay, enclosed in both arms, and you're taking a little bit heavier of a weight. Same thing, going down, okay, and your knees should just be kissing the ground, okay? And that is something you can do with as much as one, or some guys that will even use 2 or 3 plates just to go ahead. And I like using plates better than the dumbbells for this because it keeps the weight at your core, which is a big thing you want to do in strength training. So that's what we would do for the power lunges, okay? If you don't have any weights at all, I've even seen students just, having 2 or 3 backpacks on each arm and going down, and I mean, just as long as everything's symmetrical on each side, it gets the job done. So again, you can be creative even with strength training. For the calves, all you're going to be doing is, again, taking your plate or whatever object you're working with. And some people will do this with a friend on their shoulders. That's fine. A lot of weightlifters do that. Just be careful, that nobody gets hurt. And all you're doing is, for the calves, you're going up and you're just holding up for about 2 to 3 seconds and then down. So 1, 2, 3, and you should feel it go all the way from the top to the bottom of your calf, and you should feel it get really tight. And then you can do the same thing for going backwards and leaning backwards, but if you're doing it leaning backwards, you should have somebody in back of you spotting you, just so you don't go over and lose balance. But there's a variant of this. If you're doing it alone, you can just be sitting down, and sitting down, you can go ahead and you can take, I've seen some people even take the plates, and you're just usually with a pad or a towel or something, and you're just going up and you're putting direct weight on the top part of the foot itself, and you're going for about 10 or 15 reps, and that will get the job done if you're training alone. For doing the reverse for the calves. That will conclude the strength portion for class 6, week 6, and for the final portion, the meditation portion, we're going to wrap up in just a couple minutes. We're going to do the Tai Chi Ruler. Now, most students aren't going to have an authentic Chinese ruler for the Tai Chi Ruler, and that's okay. You don't need to. It's the purpose of setting the motion with the mind and body Same principle as last week and what we keep going through each week. And all you need actually is a water bottle, you know, any water bottle will do. And you're just going to have open palm on one side, open palm on the other side. And what you're doing is you're having one leg out, one leg back, toe heel alignment, and you're just going to start practicing with nice circular motions, and you're going to stay circular. And all you're doing is you're coming in and then out, and every time I come in, and you can start with a smaller, what we call a cat stance, before you graduate to a larger, more spread apart stance. And so you're going to be in this stance, okay, toe heel alignment, and you're going to go in, shoulders nice and relaxed, and out. Breathe in when you come in, exhale when you come out. Just like this, okay? And you can notice the circles can get bigger. But either way, whether you make them large or small, you need to keep the body moving in motion. As I move back, my whole body moves back. So you're like a rocking chair. Going back and forth. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Don't tighten up and raise your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Okay? And that's all you're doing, is just going, and then you can reverse direction once you get comfortable with that. Same thing. Breathe in as it comes in. Breathe out as it comes out. After a while, you should forget about the motion, because the motion will happen on its own. And you'll start just focusing on the breath work. And also, you should have that rear foot come up every time you go back. Make it all one motion in the body. And then you can eventually get to where you'll feel that chi or energy that they talk about in the Asian culture. And these are, in the martial art, considered two major energy points in the palms. And so you will actually feel it, just like this, in between your hands, after doing it enough. And that's a great, solid thing. So that will conclude our Class 6, Week 6, Army of Saints training video. And as a reminder to students, keep working on the assignments built in to each, go ahead and work on the assignments built into each week, because those assignments, everything from the job resumes to the mock interviews and everything that you practice, those are things that you're doing to be able to help you along the way, okay? All right, so this is Ryan bowing out from Army of Saints, Class 6, Week 6, Martial Arts.